Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna be checking out Era de Pennello, also known as lime paint. So lime paint is kind of what you'd expect it to be. It's a lime putty in paint form, so you can use this in multiple different ways. You can roll it on, you can paint it with a brush, you can also trowel this on. It's pretty thick, so you can actually get a trowel out and trowel this on. Today we're gonna be applying this in a way that I think most people would apply this, is more of like a lime wash. So we're gonna be using a paintbrush. We're gonna water this down just a little bit just to kind of give it a better consistency for that, and then we're gonna be applying it with a brush. So this is kind of how I'd expect most people to apply this, especially when they're trying to get started in these kind of lime-based product type worlds. So we kind of have like a nice, I don't know, gray color today. We'll see how this turns out, but we're gonna water this down. So I'm gonna go probably like a 1-to-1 ratio. That's gonna give it a nice transparency because that'll allow kind of those textures and the movements from the brush to kind of come through. So when you're doing a wall, you're definitely gonna wanna use a bigger brush than this. They have ones that are probably 2 or 3 times as big as this, but I'm gonna use this just because I'm using a small board here, and obviously a big brush is gonna take up half of this thing. But if you have a big wall you're doing, this is not the brush I'd recommend. I'll go ahead and link one below that you can use for lime washing or lime paints. But just so you guys know, this is probably not what you'd wanna use. So I'm gonna go ahead and dilute this, and then we'll get started. All right, so that was probably too much water. So if you're doing this, maybe it's 2 parts paint, 1 part water. It's pretty liquidy right now. Maybe this will be okay. I don't know. We'll try it out and we'll see if this works out okay, but it's pretty liquidy. So I'm not sure if my ratio is correct, but we'll go ahead and continue. This might just take extra coats in this case, but we'll go ahead and do this. So the idea here, we're gonna kind of apply it in a kind of a crisscross, kind of random way, just to kind of create little clouds of movement around the board. And then we're gonna do a couple coats of this. All right, so there is our first coat. Main things, like any kind of application of these types of products, you wanna kind of start not on the edge. You wanna start away from the edge and kind of pull your product back to the edges. And you also wanna start off of where you've already applied. So you wanna apply and then start over here and pull it back into where you've already applied. That'll just kind of give it a nice natural look and feel. If you kind of apply it right on top of what you just applied, those areas can tend to get darker, and then it'll be more noticeable. It won't look as random. So there you have it. We'll let this coat dry. We might have to do more coats than you normally would, but we will just see what happens here. Okay, so it is dry now. Obviously it dries a lot lighter than you apply it, so that's kind of when you'll know it's dry. It'll look a lot more uniform, kind of like most of our products. So we're gonna go ahead and apply a second coat. We'll see if we need a third coat or not, but we'll go ahead and do the second coat here. Same process with every coat. The difference that you want to do in your second coat and third coat is that you don't want to start where you first applied last time. You wanna start in a different location so that your overlapping lines and where you apply the paint is different every time. There you have it, super easy, second coat. Okay, so here's what our second coat looks like. A very subtle look at this point. You could definitely stop here, and I think on a bigger wall, this would be a nice kind of subtle, plastery looking lime wash look. But what I'm gonna do now is actually kind of intentionally add some more contrast, hopefully, by kind of doing random strokes, but not filling it in like we did before. And just to see if I can bring out some more of that contrast and that texture look. You could definitely stop here, and I think that you'd be pretty happy with this. It's definitely a more uniform look, but we're gonna see if we can get some more texture out of here. Okay, so I kind of just left it a little bit open in certain areas. Hopefully the lime paint will kind of soak in a little bit more in the areas that I applied it. We'll see what it does on the third coat. The main thing when you're doing something like this is that you gotta make sure that all your lines kind of connect at some point. If you have a blob just like floating in the middle of nowhere, it tends to look awkward. So just kind of like make sure all your strokes overlap, but then don't cover the entire thing. So that's a good tip there for if you're doing anything like this. Connect all the lines, but leave little parts open. So we'll let this dry and then we'll come check out the final look. So here's the final look, you guys. It turned out way better, I think, than I was thinking it was going to. Actually, the amount of water we used, although it felt like it was diluted a lot, actually might have been correct because it really let it kind of build up over those 3 coats that we did. I think if you dilute it a little bit less, you could get away with like maybe 2 coats. But honestly, the 1-to-1 ratio wasn't that bad. So maybe, kind of somewhere in between 1-to-1 and 2-to-1, I think would be a good ratio. Doing the skip strokes where I didn't cover the entire board definitely added a nice look to it. So I'd recommend doing that if you want more texture out of your wall. If you want a more subtle look, I think what I was doing before where you're covering the entire thing is gonna give you that nice, subtle look. There you go, lime paint. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. If you like that, give it a thumbs up. That helps us know that you guys wanna see more of this type of content. Leave a comment if you have questions. I'm always here to answer, or hopefully here to answer your questions, and hopefully I have an answer for you guys. We will see you guys in the next one, so stay tuned.